11 rare signs. You'll live to 100. The 10th is the most shocking. Do you believe that it is possible to age with vitality, independence, and joy? Ever wondered why some people remain active and lucid even after the age of 80? And are there any simple signs that indicate if you're on the path to a long and healthy life? Science has shown that longevity does not depend only on genetics or luck. It is directly linked to small everyday actions, habits that often go unnoticed, but that reflect how your body is aging from the inside. Can the way you move, think, and even sleep reveal your future? In this video, we'll reveal the 11 surprising signs that indicate that you're not only aging well, but that you may be among the rare ones who reach 100 with health and autonomy. Let's get started. 1. Does your memory still work like clockwork? So you're years ahead of many. The ability to remember recent conversations, appointments, names, and everyday events is one of the most powerful signs that your brain is aging healthily. Many people believe that memory loss is an inevitable consequence of age, but this is not completely true. Research shows that while some cognitive changes are natural, marked memory loss may be linked to factors that can, and should, be prevented. If you can still stay focused on everyday tasks, solve small, everyday problems, clearly remember recent conversations, or even learn something new, it indicates that your brain is active and functional. Memory is directly related to the health of your neurons, cerebral blood circulation, and the balance of neurotransmitters, and all of this can be influenced by your habits. Activities such as frequent reading, logic games, conversations with friends, and even learning something new, such as a musical instrument or a language, help keep your brain in shape. In addition, maintaining a balanced diet, practicing physical activity, and getting a good night's sleep are fundamental pillars to preserve memory. People who maintain a mentally active life have a lower risk of developing dementias, such as Alzheimer's, according to studies published in journals such as Neurology and the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. As you notice that your mind remains sharp, that you can still make decisions autonomously and remember events clearly, this is more than luck. It is a sign that you are reaping the rewards of a life of good habits. And the best part? Even if you experience small lapses in memory, it is possible to improve with the right stimuli and consistency. Longevity starts in the mind, and a living memory is one of the first signs of a promising future. 2. Don't stairs scare you. So your heart is talking loudly about your health. Climbing a flight of stairs may seem like a simple task, but for those between 65 and 80 years old, this action becomes a true thermometer of cardiovascular health and physical endurance. If you can still face a staircase without having to stop in the middle to catch your breath, this is an excellent sign that your body is working efficiently. This effort requires the heart to pump more blood, the lungs to deliver oxygen accurately, and the leg muscles to be strong enough to sustain the movement firmly. In other words, climbing stairs mobilizes a complex gear that only works well when all parts of your body are in tune. Studies carried out by institutions such as the American Heart Association indicate that the ability to climb stairs is directly related to longevity. People who maintain this ability have a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and even early mortality. And the best, it is not necessary to run or run up. The simple fact of climbing 1 or 2 flights with a steady pace and without panting is enough to show that your health is up to date. In addition, this daily habit can be an excellent functional exercise. By choosing the stairs over the elevator, you stimulate your leg muscles, improve circulation, and challenge your lung capacity. Many elderly people report that they have started to avoid stairs for fear of falls, or because they feel difficulty. But what few know is that precisely the habit of avoiding these challenges contributes to a progressive loss of strength and endurance. If you still climb stairs with confidence, celebrate. It shows that your heart, lungs, and muscles still work in harmony. And if you've been avoiding it, maybe it's time to face this small challenge and start, step by step, to regain your breath and your autonomy. 3. Balance of an athlete. This little test reveals more than you might think. Have you ever tried standing on one leg for 10 seconds? It may seem like a silly challenge, But this simple action is one of the most effective tools to assess the health of your nervous, muscular, and even cardiovascular system. If you can stand your ground without supporting yourself and without losing your balance, know that you're ahead of many in your age group and that your body is responding with excellence. The ability to maintain balance is deeply linked to the function of your senses, especially vision, the inner ear, and the so-called proprioceptive system, responsible for informing the brain of your body's position in space. When all of these systems work well together, your body can stay stable, even in situations that require control and coordination. Studies published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine indicate that loss of balance is directly associated with a higher risk of falls, hospitalizations, and even mortality in the following years. In other words, it is not just a question of mobility, but a prediction about its ability to maintain independence in the coming years. People with good balance tend to have greater autonomy, a lower risk of fractures, and an easier time moving with confidence. If you notice that you are already starting to lean on walls, furniture, or feel insecure when putting on your shoes while standing, it is time to pay attention to your balance. But the good news is that this skill can be trained and improved at any age. Simple exercises, such as standing with one foot in front of the other, lifting your heels, or practicing yoga and Tai Chi, are excellent ways to stimulate balance. Standing on your own 2 feet is more than a matter of safety. It's a sign of longevity. And if you can already do this naturally, know that you are walking the right path to age with vitality and independence. 4. Waking up with the will to live is one of the biggest signs of longevity. Waking up with disposition, energy, and the desire to face the day may seem simple, but for those between 65 and 80 years old, this feeling is a true sign that the body and mind still work in harmony. When you wake up naturally, without feeling exhausted or without energy, it indicates that your body is performing its regenerative functions well during sleep. And more than that, it reveals that there is something inside you, a sense of purpose, motivation, and vitality, that remains strong and present. Research indicates that subjective perception of well-being upon waking is associated with better overall health, less risk of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. Studies such as those published by the National Sleep Foundation reinforce that restful sleep, combined with a sense of purpose when getting out of bed, is directly related to longevity and quality of life. People who wake up motivated tend to maintain healthier habits, eat better, move more, and engage more often in social and intellectual activities. But what causes this disposition? In addition to the quality of sleep, it comes from emotional health and the connection with personal goals, even if simple, such as taking care of a plant, talking to a loved one, walking outdoors, or dedicating yourself to a hobby. If you still wake up excited, with plans and ideas for the day, it shows that your body is recharging well during the night and that your mind is finding reasons to keep moving forward. And this, according to several studies in gerontology, is one of the most powerful factors to live longer and better. On the other hand, if you wake up with frequent discouragement, it may be time to review your routine, sleep, food, or look for something that rekindles your motivation. Waking up with the will to live is often the invisible fuel that keeps us active, alert, and full of life. And if that's still part of your reality, you're among the rare ones who aren't just getting older, they're flourishing. 5. Walking with a firm step without panting is a superpower of those who age well. The way you walk says a lot about your health, and we're not just talking about elegance or posture, but something much deeper. The pace of your walking is a reliable indicator of your cardiovascular condition, muscle strength, and even your brain health. If you can still walk at a fast pace without panting, know that this is an excellent sign of longevity. Scientific studies, such as those published in the journal JAMA Network Open, point out that people with higher walking speed have a lower risk of all-cause mortality. This is because walking firmly and fluidly requires a harmonious functioning of various body systems. The heart needs to pump blood efficiently. The lungs must oxygenate the body accurately. The leg muscles need to have strength and endurance, and the brain needs to coordinate all of this with balance. In other words, walking with a rhythm is a much more complete activity than it seems. If you can still walk with purpose, climb sidewalks, cross a street without feeling like you need to stop to breathe, it reveals that your body is in full activity. And more than that you still have the autonomy and confidence to move around the world. To test your ability, try walking as if you were in a hurry so you don't miss an elevator. If you can maintain this rhythm for a few minutes without getting out of breath or out of balance, your body is responding very well to the aging process. But what if the pace is no longer the same? No problem. Speed and endurance can be regained with daily walks, muscle strengthening, and breathing exercises. Walking is one of the simplest and most effective ways to preserve your health for longer. So, if it's still part of your routine, and especially if you can keep a steady step, celebrate. This silent superpower is one of the greatest allies of longevity. 6. Getting up from a chair without support. The challenge that reveals your hidden strength. Getting up from a chair without using your hands can seem automatic, almost unimportant. But the truth is that this simple gesture hides one of the most revealing tests on your muscle strength, balance, and functional health. If you can get up with only the strength of your legs, keeping your torso upright and without momentum with your arms, congratulations. Your body is demonstrating that it still has strength and coordination above average for your age. This movement mainly involves the muscles of the lower limbs, the stability of the trunk, and the mobility of the joints, especially the knees and hips. Studies show that leg strength is directly related to the ability to live independently for longer and with a lower risk of falls and fractures. According to the Journal of Gerontology, the simple act of getting up from a chair without support is one of the strongest predictors of autonomy in older adults. What's more, it is also related to cardiovascular health and life expectancy. Many people only notice the loss of muscle strength when they have already started to lean on the arms of the chair, to lean exaggeratedly forward, or to need momentum to be able to stand up. Therein lies the danger. This progressive loss of strength and balance can go unnoticed until it becomes an obstacle to everyday activities, such as climbing stairs, walking, or even getting out of bed. But the good news is that it is possible to train and regain this ability. Exercises such as squats, leg raises while sitting, and slowly climbing steps help strengthen the muscles responsible for this movement. If you can still get up easily, without thinking twice, celebrate. Your body is sending a clear message. There is still strength, there is still mobility, there is still control. And these are powerful signs that you're aging with autonomy and vitality. 7. Don't household chores bring you down. So you're way ahead in the race against time, folding clothes, sweeping the house, preparing meals, washing the dishes. These simple day-to-day tasks often go unnoticed when we talk about health. But if you can still do them naturally, without feeling exhausted or needing constant breaks, know that this is one of the clearest signs that your vitality is preserved. The ability to perform household activities without difficulty requires more than physical strength. It involves motor coordination, muscular endurance, cardiovascular health, focus, and emotional balance. In addition, these tasks require different muscle groups to work together, which keeps the body functionally active. Research published in the scientific journal The Lancet Public Health shows that maintaining the ability to perform daily tasks is associated with a lower incidence of chronic diseases and longer life expectancy in the elderly. People who remain active at home, even without formal exercise, tend to have better mobility, better preserved cognition, and a lower risk of depression. If you still cook, organize your things, clean the environment, or do small maintenance, this indicates that your energy is stable and that your body responds well to the demands of everyday life. Many elderly people end up losing this ability due to joint pain, frequent fatigue, or lack of motivation. If you start to feel that folding clothes is more tiring than before, or that sweeping the house seems to require a lot of effort, it's a sign to take a close look at your physical endurance. The good news is that it can be recovered with simple movements, adjustments in diet, and quality sleep. Being active within one's own home is one of the greatest signs of independence. And if you still keep this routine lightly, you can be proud. You are beating time with energy and dignity. 8. Can you carry your purchases without suffocation? so your muscles still speak for you. Carrying a full shopping bag may seem like a simple task, but for those between 65 and 80 years old, this action becomes a true indicator of muscle strength, endurance, and functionality of the body. If you can still lift and carry your groceries steadily, without feeling like you're going to drop or need breaks every few steps, it says a lot about your current and future health. Grasping strength, i.e., the ability to grasp objects firmly, is one of the most well-studied markers in geriatric medicine. According to studies published in the journal BMJ, people with greater grip strength have a lower risk of cardiovascular disease, falls, physical disability, and even mortality. What's more, it's not just about the hands. Carrying a bag requires the shoulders, arms, back, abdomen, and legs to work together, ensuring balance and support. If that set still responds well, your body is demonstrating a high level of functionality. Many people only notice the loss of strength when everyday activities, such as carrying groceries or opening a glass jar, start to feel challenging. And it is at this moment that autonomy begins to be compromised, even if in a subtle way. If you still bring the bags into the house with firmness and control, without pain, without excessive fatigue, this is a clear sign that your muscles are preserved. But if you notice that you already ask for help frequently or feel difficulty, it's time to act. The good news is that strength can be regained with simple activities, exercises with light weights, squeezing rubber balls, pushing light objects, and even household chores that require lifting and moving. Strengthening the body is possible at any age, and if your arms and hands can still support the weight of your day-to-day, celebrate. You are holding, with your own hands, one of the greatest signs of longevity and independence. 9. How much is your social life worth? More than you think for your brain and heart. Having an active social life after the age of 65 is much more than a way to pass the time. It is, in fact, one of the strongest signs of emotional health, mental balance, and even cardiovascular protection. If you still keep in frequent contact with friends, family, or participate in group activities, you are investing directly in your longevity. Social isolation, on the other hand, is now considered one of the main risk factors for diseases such as depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and even heart problems. According to studies published in Harvard Health Publishing and the Journals of Gerontology, people with strong social ties live longer, have a better quality of life, and have a lower risk of developing dementia. And the most interesting thing is that it is not about having many friends, but about maintaining meaningful and frequent connections. Talking, exchanging ideas, laughing together, feeling part of a group. All of these release beneficial hormones like oxytocin and reduce stress levels. In addition, social interactions require memory, reasoning, and emotional interpretation, which stimulates the brain in a natural and pleasurable way. If you still participate in family gatherings, neighborhood gatherings, reading groups, walking groups, or even religious or volunteer activities, you are activating areas of your brain that strengthen your overall health. And if these activities make you feel useful, heard, and valued, even better. The sense of belonging has a direct impact on immunity and emotional well-being. If your social life is quieter than you would like, it is not too late to reverse this. Today, there are numerous face-to-face and online groups aimed at the elderly, where it is possible to create new friendships and discover common interests. Staying socially active is a real food for the body and soul. If you still connect with other people frequently, know that this discreet habit is actually a powerful anchor for a long, happy, and full life. 10. Can you get up off the ground without help? This movement is a powerful thermometer of longevity. Lying down and getting up from the floor may seem like child's play, but this simple movement is one of the most powerful tests to assess your mobility, flexibility, strength, and balance. If you can still get to the floor and stand up without the help of furniture, supports, or someone else, it indicates that your body is still functioning in an integrated and efficient way. This gesture involves several muscle groups at the same time. Abdomen, back, glutes, hips, legs, and arms work together so that the body moves with fluidity and control. In addition, it is necessary to have flexibility in the joints, good motor coordination, and a certain degree of agility. A famous study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology showed that the ability to sit up and get up from the floor without support is strongly associated with a reduced risk of death from any cause in people over the age of 50. The test is simple. Sit on the floor and try to get up without using your hands, knees, or elbows as support. The less support you need, the higher your score, and the higher your chances of aging independently. If today you hesitate before bending down to pick something up on the floor, or avoid sitting on very low surfaces, this could be a wake-up call. But just like strength, mobility can also be regained. Stretching exercises, light squats, yoga, and Pilates are excellent allies to improve this type of movement. People who retain the ability to stand up from the ground autonomously have a lower risk of falls, fractures, and hospitalizations. What's more, they feel more confident in their own bodies, which directly impacts their emotional well-being. If you still get up from the ground safely, know that this is one of the clearest proofs that your vitality still pulses strongly. This simple gesture is a silent symbol that your body still responds with agility, and that you're ready to face many years independently. 11. Waking up refreshed. Every day is a gift from your body and a clear sign of health. Few people realize it, but how you feel when you wake up can tell you a lot about your overall health. If you open your eyes in the morning with a sense of rest, mental clarity, and energy to start your day, that's more than a good night's sleep. It's a true gift from your body. During deep sleep, the body performs fundamental functions. It regenerates tissues, regulates hormones, strengthens the immune system, and consolidates memory. When the body performs these tasks well, you wake up feeling renewed, willing, and clear. On the other hand, when sleep is interrupted frequently, slight or insufficiently, the effects appear quickly. Tiredness, irritability, lack of concentration, and even body aches. According to data from the National Sleep Foundation and studies by Harvard Medical School, elderly people who maintain a consistent, quality sleep routine live longer and have a lower risk of diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, Alzheimer's, and depression. And the most interesting thing is that sleep quality is directly linked to other factors that we have discussed so far. People who eat well, practice light physical activity, maintain an active social life, and take care of their emotional health tend to sleep better. If you still wake up before the alarm clock, feeling good, and not needing hours to get going, this shows that your biological clock is adjusted and working in tune with your lifestyle. But if waking up comes with tiredness, pain, or a feeling of mental confusion, it's time to look carefully at your nocturnal habits. Creating a sleep ritual, avoiding screens before bed, keeping the bedroom dark and cool, reducing caffeine, and maintaining regular bedtime and wake-up times are all simple practices that make a huge difference. Waking up with energy is a silent sign that your body is still functioning like a finely tuned gear. And if you have this privilege on a daily basis, celebrate. Your body is talking loudly. You are aging with balance, vitality, and longevity. Wonderful. Now let's conclude with a motivational ending of approximately 90 words, ending the text with inspiration and a call to action. Have you come this far and recognized in yourself many of these signs? So know that you are on an extraordinary path. Aging well is not a fluke. It is the result of choices, habits, and attitudes. Even if there is still something to improve, the good news is that it is never too late to start over. Value every movement, every clear thought, every firm step. And above all, take care of yourself with affection and consistency. Your body is your greatest ally on the journey of longevity. The time to act is now.